Snapped and faked a pregnancy in the worst possible way. Lived with my BF for 4 years. We went back and forth about marriage. He finally proposed only to back out a few weeks later. I broke up with him and moved back to my home state 4,000 miles away. 3 months later he called. Missed me, still loved me, regretted canceling our engagement and proposed again. Skeptical at first, we spoke for 7 hours and he convinced me that he was ready to get married. I told him we'd sleep on it, I'd call him the next day and if he meant it he'd answer the phone, if not, he wouldn't. He answered and we set a wedding date for 6 weeks. I started to make plans only to have him go radio silent. After 2 weeks he finally admitted he wasn't ready again and called it off. 4 years later I get a call out of the blue. He's in my city on business. Can we get together? What the hell, I'm over him so why not? We met for a drink and caught up. I asked him what happened when he canceled our engagement. He said he always regretted that and wanted to call me to apologize but was afraid. Despite that he never stopped loving me and canceling was his biggest regret that and never having a child with me. He'd always wanted a son. At that moment something snapped in me. I told him that I was pregnant when I left him. That I was that night he called to propose but I never wanted him to marry me because of that so I didn't tell him. When he finally broke up with me I decided to put the baby up for adoption. Unfortunately later that night I suffered a miscarriage. It was a boy. He left the table visibly ill. I'd lied to him. There was no pregnancy. I wanted to hurt him as much as he'd hurt me. I never planned to do it. The thought never crossed my mind. I just snapped knowing that being the cause of my losing his son would devastate him. I never saw him again and never told him the truth. Update, thanks for all the comments. I have no idea why I did what I did because it's definitely not my usual mo. But when he said what he said I can't explain it any other way than I just snapped. Seeing how he reacted, he became physically ill. I knew instantly that what I said devastated him and in that moment truly regretted it. But I couldn't take it back. As time passed I wanted to tell him the truth but just couldn't. I found out recently that he died and now I can't.